Imagine the moment when everything you built begins to crumble. The plans, the relationships, the confidence, and you watch them slip through your hands like sand. The world feels heavier, slower, and suddenly quiet in a way that almost hurts. You look around and realize the noise that once filled your life, the laughter, the notifications, the endless motion, has stopped, leaving only you and silence. That's where this story begins. Not in victory or comfort, but in collapse. Most of us are taught to chase calm when life is already peaceful. But real serenity isn't tested in sunshine. It's tested in the storm. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, faced plagues, wars, betrayal, and death on a scale few can imagine. Yet his words, written not for fame but for survival, still whisper to us centuries later. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. He wrote that while his empire trembled. So when everything falls apart, calm isn't found in pretending the pain isn't real. It's found in meeting reality without collapsing under it. The fall doesn't announce itself. Sometimes it begins quietly, a lost job, a small failure, an unexpected call. Other times it crashes all at once. What matters is what happens inside you when it does. There's a moment, small and fragile, between chaos and reaction. That's the space the Stoics lived in, the space where choice exists. Marcus reminded himself every morning, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When the world shakes, our instinct is to grab for control. But calm doesn't come from control. It comes from clarity, from seeing that life has never truly been under our command. The Stoics trained for this daily, accepting impermanence before it struck so they could remain unshakable when it did. The modern world teaches us to escape, to scroll away discomfort and drown silence in noise. But when everything falls apart, those distractions disappear, leaving us face to face with raw existence. Right there we can decide, will I resist what is happening, or will I meet it with stillness? Calm is not weakness. Calm is the highest form of strength. When the sea rages, the sailor doesn't curse the storm. He adjusts the sails, narrowing his focus to what he can control, his hands, the ropes, the rudder. That's stoicism in motion, calm through control of the self. Think of your mind as that ocean. Waves will rise, thoughts, fears, regrets, but you can stand firm on the shore of awareness and watch them pass. That's what Marcus practiced every night in his tent after battle. He wrote to remind himself to stay anchored. Be like the rock against which the waves continually break. It stands firm, and the raging of the sea falls still around it. You can almost feel the exhaustion in his words, yet the steadiness in his tone. He wasn't born calm. He built it. And we can too. Falling apart isn't failure. It's feedback. It's life showing us where we still depend on what we can't control. The Stoic path begins when you stop asking, why me, and start asking, what can I learn from this? Every collapse strips away illusions, who we thought we were, what we thought we needed, what we assumed was permanent. That stripping hurts, but beneath it lies something pure. The self that can survive without labels, without applause, without certainty. In those moments, Marcus didn't see tragedy. He saw training. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your heartbreak, your failure, your chaos, they're not blocking your path. They are your path. The Stoic calm isn't about detachment from emotion, but mastery of perspective. Pain is real. Suffering is optional. Between them lies interpretation. Imagine holding a cup of water. Shake it and it spills. Set it down and it stills. You didn't force calm. You stopped shaking. That's the Stoic mind, stillness through awareness. Marcus wrote Meditations not as an emperor, but as a man reminding himself how to stay human amid chaos. He acknowledged irritation, anger, exhaustion, yet every page returned to the same truth. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. It's not denial, it's direction. When everything falls apart, the Stoic doesn't ask the universe to stop the storm. He asks for the wisdom to steer through it. Chaos has a strange rhythm. It doesn't arrive to destroy order. It arrives to reveal what order truly was. Most of us live in a quiet illusion, believing the world owes us stability. We plan, predict, and build futures to tame uncertainty. But the truth, the one the Stoics face daily, is that uncertainty is not the enemy of life. It is the substance of life itself. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire where a single message could change the fate of millions. Yet he never mistook control for security. He wrote, "Constantly regard the universe as one living being, having one substance and one soul, and observe how all things have reference to one perception, the perception of this one living being." He understood what most of us forget. The universe moves according to its own reason, not ours. Chaos to him was not chaos. It was the natural unfolding of cause and effect. That flicker of a candle that nearly goes out and steadies again is the pattern of the world. Order, disorder, order again. Calm, storm, calm again. If you understand that rhythm, you stop begging the flame to behave. You simply shield it when you can and accept when you can't. When things fall apart, it feels personal. The mind rushes to name villains, to assign blame, to find meaning. But Stoicism offers a radical truth. Loss is not a punishment. It is a reminder of impermanence. Marcus wrote about death not with fear, but with intimacy. To him, every loss mirrored nature's law. The leaves that fall make room for spring. Every ending feeds a beginning. So when everything crumbles, the Stoic mind asks not why, but what is this making space for? That perspective doesn't erase grief, it reframes it. The Stoic still feels sorrow, but refuses to let sorrow define them. They mourn consciously, like warriors who understand the cost of being alive.
Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. In that line, there is no despair, only urgency. Life is short, chaos is certain, and calm is a discipline, not a gift. Marcus learned that chaos doesn't exist outside of perception. The battle, the betrayal, the sickness, all are events, neutral until interpreted. The storm is only a storm until the mind names it tragedy. The Stoics practiced separating events from opinions about them, a discipline they called the control of impressions. Each of us is often caught not in the event itself, but in our reaction to it. When we attach emotion before understanding, we feed chaos. But if we pause, if we breathe and absorb the first surge of fear or anger without obeying it, we reclaim power. The Stoics called that pause the citadel of the mind. Inside it, no storm can reach you. There, you decide what everything means. Men seek retreats for themselves in the country, by the sea, in the mountains, but it is in your power to retire into yourself at any time. The true retreat is inward. The still point is within reach, even amid collapse. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I can't handle this," remember, the moment you observe that thought, you're already handling it. Awareness is calm. Reaction is chaos. Chaos itself is not random. It's the natural correction of imbalance. When a forest burns, nutrients return to the soil. When empires fall, new societies form. When relationships shatter, truth surfaces. The Stoic sees collapse as feedback from the universe, revealing where illusion exceeded reality. Marcus faced betrayals from his closest allies, yet instead of bitterness, he sought understanding. When another blames you or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you. He didn't suppress emotion, he transcended it through comprehension. Every attack became a study in human behavior, every failure a test of discipline. The empire outside him was unstable. The empire within him was not. That is the difference between falling apart and being still amid the fall. Here lies the Stoic paradox. To gain control, you must release it. The more you chase stability, the more fragile you become. But when you accept that nothing is guaranteed, you move freely, calmly, lightly. Imagine holding water in your hands. Squeeze too tightly, and it escapes. Cup your palms gently, and it stays. Control is not dominance, it's cooperation with the flow of nature. Marcus saw this in every breath. He often wrote about the logos, the rational order behind all things. To him, calm was alignment with that order. If a wave comes, let it come. If it retreats, let it go. Your task is to remain upright through both. Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs? Destiny, to a Stoic, isn't superstition. It's recognition that every event, pleasant or painful, belongs to the same pattern that produced your existence. To reject the event is to reject life itself. So the calm person doesn't say, "Why did this happen to me?" They say, "It was my turn." Understanding chaos transforms fear into trust, not blind trust in luck or fate, but trust in your ability to meet reality as it is. That trust is earned through practice, tiny moments of calm built day after day until they form an unshakable habit. Marcus trained his mind like a soldier trains muscle memory. Every irritation was a drill, every setback an exercise. He was preparing not for perfection, but for peace. When plague swept through Rome, when famine struck, when unrest threatened his throne, he didn't pray for rescue, he practiced reason. He reminded himself, this too is nature. The world may appear to fall apart, but it is only rearranging itself. You too are rearranging. You are not breaking, you are being refined. Steel becomes strong only after the fire, and calm, true calm, is forged the same way. The lesson of chaos is humility. We don't command the storm, but we can command our response to it. And when we learn that, we become untouchable. Not because we escape pain, but because we meet it with clarity. The art of living, Marcus wrote, is more like wrestling than dancing, because an artful life requires being ready for what comes and not being thrown by it. Wrestling, not dancing, that's the essence of calm. The body moves, adjusts, absorbs impact, stays balanced. The mind does the same. You will be thrown, but you don't have to stay down. Calm is not the absence of noise. It is the mastery of presence, the still flame that does not flicker even when the air trembles. Marcus Aurelius called this inner composure ataraxia, a mind unshaken by circumstance. To reach it, he trained daily as one would train the body. Each morning he reminded himself, "Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil." By expecting difficulty, he disarmed surprise. Most suffering hides in that single moment when expectation collides with reality. But when you greet the day knowing storms will come, they lose their power to shock you. Calm is preparation. Every Stoic ritual served one purpose: to make composure automatic. You cannot reason your way to calm once panic has taken hold. You must build it in advance. Just as a soldier drills before battle, the Stoic rehearses equanimity before chaos. Marcus's diary showed a rhythm: observation, correction, and gratitude. Each night he wrote what he'd done, where he'd faltered, and how he might align closer to reason tomorrow. Not judgment, awareness. When you arise in the morning, think of the precious privilege to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Calm begins with appreciation. Gratitude grounds perception. When you count what remains, not what is lost, chaos shrinks to proportion. Rituals anchor the mind, making the bed, breathing deeply, speaking less, eating simply. These tiny disciplines say to the universe, "I am here, I am ready." They transform ordinary moments into reminders of control where control truly exists, within. The Stoic watches thoughts as a sentry watches the gate. Not every visitor must be welcomed. Anger knocks, you may note it, but need not invite it in. Fear arrives, you acknowledge it, yet do not serve it tea. You observe, you breathe, you let it pass. Marcus practiced this through arguments, illness, and fatigue. "You have power over your mind, not outside events," he wrote. Each time he noticed irritation rising, he named it an impression, not a truth. Naming is taming. When you say, "This is only a thought," the thought loses its claws. The modern world teaches reaction. The Stoic learns reflection. Between them lies calm. The Stoics described three disciplines: perception, action, and will, and calm lives in the first: how we assent to impressions. Every sight, sound, and headline beg for emotional approval, but you decide which deserve entry. Not every spark must become a fire. When you read something cruel, pause and ask, "Is this within my control?" If not, serenity, not indifference, is the wise response. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Simplicity and clarity. Calm is born from the refusal to multiply noise. Calm begins not in thought, but in breath. Marcus wrote of aligning soul and body through reason. When emotion surges, the body reveals it first: the tightening chest, the shallow inhale. The Stoic responds with physical correction. Exhale slowly, lower the shoulders, release the jaw. The mind follows the body's lead. The ancients practiced this through nature: long walks, cold air, steady rhythm. Today, it may be a run, a cold shower, or quiet repetition until thought dissolves. Discipline of body disciplines the soul. Calm is not passive, it burns. Marcus imagined the soul as a spark of divine fire. A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. To stay calm, you must see adversity as fuel,